Hi, this is Chief Education Officer Bill Olsen, and I want to welcome you to the last update of the school year for the 2022-2023 school year. It's been a great year in the Merrimack School District, and I appreciate everything that all of you have done to support our students and our staff. It means an awful lot to us that we have community support to the extent that we do, and you've allowed great things to happen. Just know that we are always trying to improve what we do and how we do it with students. So thank you again for all your support. I want to congratulate the high school administration, staff, students, and families for just a beautiful graduation this past weekend. I'm always impressed at the great spirit that exists at graduation, the love, the caring between the families and their children. The beach balls, of course, are always enjoyable to see because it's a symbol of accomplishment. It's a very important part of growing up and transitioning to another chapter in a child's life. And so it's always enjoyable. And we are very fortunate that the clouds and the rain held off until just after graduation, because about 15 minutes after, if you recall, the skies opened up in the area, and we were very fortunate to get graduation in such a beautiful, beautiful morning. I want to congratulate high school teachers Carol Smith and Sarah Campbell. They have been selected by the Education Testing Service and College Board to review exams, open response questions for advanced placement. A number of teachers and professors across the country are selected by the College Board and Education Testing Service. It is quite an honor for anyone to be selected, and so I congratulate Carol and I congratulate Sarah for this honor of being selected by the College Board for this review. Our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, Amy Doyle, and I have been meeting with our elementary teachers after school. We've met with 3 of the 4 elementary schools. We'll meet with the final elementary school next week. We are talking about revisions to the certain parts of the elementary curriculum in terms of literacy, in terms of mathematics, and the professional development that will be needed and that we will be providing to our staff. You know, over the years in all school districts, there are a variety of changes to curriculum and pedagogical practices. Sometimes things come full circle with a new name branded on a particular approach to literacy or mathematics instruction. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we are consistent across the school district in all of our schools in what we're teaching, the standards that we are meeting, providing staff with the professional development they need to implement the curriculum. You know, in particular with literacy over the years, there's been the whole language approach. There's been phonics, there's been guided reading, there's been, you know, all sorts of names given to different approaches to reading, writing, vocabulary, comprehension, instruction. What we're trying to do is get back to a phonics-based instructional program because we think that's best. It's research-based, and we think it'll be most effective for our students. But the important thing is that every student in our elementary schools receive a consistent opportunity to access a consistent curriculum throughout the entire year. And we want to make sure that what we're teaching meets the state standards, the curriculum standards, and that's extraordinarily important. So we're looking K-12 at various areas that we want to upgrade and improve our curriculum offerings, and we greatly appreciate the work that the staff, including our leadership team, has put into making revisions and will be putting into making additional revisions as we go through the next several years. From Trevor Knight at Merrimack High School, I'm pleased to be able to report to you that the high school is now able to meet the civics requirements of the new civics statute that takes place July 1st of 2023. As you know, students will have to pass a civics exam with a score of 90 out of 128 questions, and the high school and the high school history department has implemented the changes and will be in compliance with the new statute. So congratulations to the staff and Trevor for making that happen. As you know, those requirements apply to all grades in our school district, and many of the topics in terms of civics will be taught through having them embedded into instruction in general, whether it's reading, whether it's math, whether it's science, whether it's social studies. It is possible to embed certain components of civics into some of those instructional and curriculum areas. We have an important school board goal-setting session coming up on June 22nd that will be run by New Hampshire insurance carrier Primex. We had a session last year that was one of the best I've ever attended in the many years that I've been in this profession. The school board held an excellent session, and we're looking forward to another great session coming up next week, as a matter of fact. We are in concert moving forward with respect to what we think is important in the administration and what the school board thinks is important. We were joined last year very encouragingly by the school budget committee, and so we feel it's important to be on the same page with all constituents, all stakeholders, in terms of analyzing and understanding where we are with our instructional programs and our ancillary services that we provide to students, and where we need to go based on the needs of students. You know, there's no secret to it. You know, there's a million and one textbooks that are written about how to improve public education. Most of those textbooks, or many of them, are written by people who are critical of public education. Well, my philosophy has always been talk to the staff, talk to the parents, and in fact talk with the students also in terms of understanding the needs of our students, what we're doing a good job at in meeting those needs, but what we need to improve at in terms of meeting the current and emerging needs of our students. There's nobody better than our staff to speak with in terms of understanding those needs. And what I do, just to let you know, one of the inputs that I receive is I ask every first-year teacher in Merrimack whether they are taking this job as their first job in education or whether they have worked for 20 years in several different school districts. Their first year in Merrimack, I ask them to meet with me at the end of the year because I want them to share with me what was good about their experience in Merrimack, but I also want them to be honest with me and tell me what are the needs of students that, from their perspective, we're not meeting, and what do we need to do to improve our programs, services, and approach to meeting those needs. Essentially, their recommendations to me on improving our school district. That's important because that gives people a voice, that gives them the incentive to bring forth ideas, whether they're sort of a reconstruct of something we've done in years past and might not be doing anymore, or whether they're new, creative, innovative ideas that perhaps we haven't tried before, but are worth certainly trying with our students. So thank you to our staff for coming back to me at the end of the year, meeting with me, and giving me those suggestions. I want to thank national, and in fact international consultant Polly Bath. In fact, Polly used to work with us, worked for Merrimack many, many years ago. Polly is an outstanding, highly respected consultant in the area of social emotional learning and a multi-tiered system of supports. A multi-tiered system of supports, sometimes you have heard that referred to as MTSS, and with a B on the end referring to belonging. But that's a multi-tiered system of supports. That is a process of understanding and trying to understand student behaviors and what activities, what strategies we might employ to help students get through sometimes difficult behaviors and allow them and their classmates to focus more completely on what's going on in the classroom. From minor disruptions to more major behavioral infractions, MTSS is categorized in 3 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. The Tier 1, the less intense student behaviors, yet important in terms of staff addressing those. Tier 2 and Tier 3 are the progressively more difficult behaviors. And we talk about, and I want to thank Director of Wellness, Fern Seiden, for her outstanding work in our school district in working with our staff and students on the multi-tiered system of supports and strategies that we can employ for helping to regulate student behaviors for their own benefit and for their classmates' benefit. I will say that Fern has done an outstanding job also in providing programs and professional development opportunities for parents throughout the entire year. They're very, very much respected and very much appreciated. Recently, I had an opportunity to meet with our bus drivers at the end of the year to thank them. You know, I always look at bus drivers as some of the unsung heroes, even though they are not direct employees of the school district. They are a contractor and contracted service. A bus driver to most parents represent the school district. And I always say to them that they represent the Merrimack School District, even though they're not direct employees. When they open that door in the bus in the morning or in the afternoon to a parent or a guardian, they represent our district. And so we appreciate their ability to drive safely, to work with the children effectively, and to minimize the amount of problems on buses where, as you and I know, lots of different things can happen starting at a relatively early age. So thank you to our drivers. Thank you to the management of our bus contractor, because they've done an excellent job. I've been in this profession now for 53 years. They are one of the better contractors I've ever come across and worked with. So thank you to them. I want to remind you that we have employment opportunities that we're still seeking great candidates for. I've been very impressed with the quality of professionals that I've interviewed. I like to have the last interview with people before they're hired, because I want to know if I'm satisfied with their credentials and with their interpersonal skills to put them in front of children in a classroom or some other capacity in our school district. I don't necessarily hire everyone. If they don't meet my 8 Ps of preparation, pride, professionalism, passion, patience, persistence, personality, and performance, proven performance, then I don't hire them. Fortunately, this year, we've had an outstanding group of candidates who are well prepared and are personable, have great interpersonal skills, who can connect, inspire, motivate, encourage, and believe in our students. And those are the people I hire in this school district. So if you're interested in working with us, working for us, please take a look at our website and consider making an application for employment. We recently, the high school had a wonderful awards night and awarded $135,000 in scholarships to students. I want to thank about 60 different organizations throughout Merrimack who contributed funds to the awards night, and 61 students were the beneficiaries of the awards, the scholarship awards. It doesn't get any better than that, and that is really a wonderful show of spirit and support from the community. I'm pleased to say that after about a 20-year hiatus, we're finally going to have another band camp this summer. You know, I had a chance to meet with band director and music teacher Bunny Saranita from the high school, and I think all of you and many of you know Bunny and her great spirit and her passion for music. And I asked Bunny several months ago, what do we do for summer activities for students, for band students, for music students? What do we do for band camp that many high schools have? And she said, well, we used to have one many years ago, but we don't have one any longer. And I said, well, we're going to have one this summer if you're interested. So I'm pleased to say that we're going to have a band camp starting July 5th, running through August 9th, on a couple of nights, Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I shouldn't say just restricted to the nighttime, from 8 to 12 in the morning, and from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. There'll be small group lessons. There will be some chorus instruction also with Mr. Beck and Mrs. Saranita. We'll have Mr. McWalter, who is Mrs. Saranita's replacement, starting July 1st, participate also. And on Wednesday evening, there will be a 2-hour band builder from 6 to 8. We have an excellent band in Merrimack, and you know, it's a sign of great spirit in the school system. We're always very, very proud of them because they work every bit as hard as the athletes do in their respective sports. And so we're great supporters of band camp and summer instruction. Looking forward. And I'll be discussing this with the school district and the budget committee for the 24-25 school year. I'm hoping that we can start a strings program in Merrimack. And I'm also hoping that we can begin a summer camp for the performing arts, for the theater arts, which I want to see enhanced in our school district because it provides many, many avenues and opportunities for a variety of students. I want to congratulate Ryan Church, who this summer will be participating in the National Bowling Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. Ryan will be representing the state of New Hampshire and certainly and very proudly our school district in Merrimack. As you know, Ryan was a state champ in terms of bowling. He was a member of the state championship team. And they had an extraordinary average that any professional bowler would love to attain. And so we congratulate Ryan. We look forward. We're going to root him on and support him in Indianapolis. We'll support him from here, and we wish him the best of luck. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank the parents. I want to thank the residents for supporting our school district. You have been extraordinarily good in terms of the positivity that you have brought to our school district, your vote at town meeting, which is always helpful. You know, it takes money to operate a large organization such as this. I'm also of the belief that sometimes it's not only the amount of money that a school district requires to operate, it's how we spend it. And what I want to make sure of is working with our leadership team and our staff, we spend it correctly to represent you, the taxpayers, extraordinarily well and provide your students, your children, your grandchildren with the best education possible. And to that end, we're going to keep improving day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, and from year to year. I promise you that. I want to thank you for joining me this year. I'll do a couple of programs during the summer also and look forward to joining you more regularly next year. This is Bill Olsen, Chief Education Officer. Thank you for joining.